Hey church, it's Wednesday and this is the Daily Dose. Today we're going to cover my favorite parable. It's one of my absolute favorites. It comes from Luke 10. Now, in Luke 10, somebody comes to Jesus and they ask him what they need to do to be saved. Verse 27, he answers this way. He says, "Love Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and all your mind." And then he tacks this on in the end. He says, "And love your neighbor as yourself." Now, because this person was trying to get around what Jesus was saying, they followed up that question with this question. Well, Jesus, who's my neighbor? I get this whole, I'm good with loving you, Jesus, but who's my neighbor? Who do I have to love? Now, in reply to this, Jesus tells this incredible story. We pick it up in verse 30. It says this: "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead." Now, over the rest of the story, there's three different people that we're going to encounter. One's a priest, one's a Levite, and one's a Samaritan. Now, a priest obviously is somebody who works in the temple. This was a Jewish person, right? A Levite, these were some of God's chosen people. They were also some of the Israelites. And then we also have the Samaritan. Now, here's what you need to know. Samaritans, they were seen as less than. They were seen actually as, some Israelites like to call them dogs. Like they weren't even human. Now, I want you to see what happens as they walk past this man that has just been robbed and is half dead. See, the priest comes first and he walks down the same road. And as he sees this man who's dying, he passes by on the other side of the road. He doesn't even want to be on the same side of the road as this dude. And the Levite who passed by, he does the same exact thing. And then the Samaritan shows up and we see his reaction. Verse 34 says this: "He went to him, bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him." Verse 35 says this: "Then the next day he took out 2 denarii, in other words, some money, and gave them to the innkeeper and said, 'Look after him,' he said, 'and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you have.'" See, the Samaritan, he goes above and beyond to care for this man that had been robbed. And so this man who probably would have called him a dog in any other circumstance. Now, Jesus ends the story, and you can almost picture this moment. You can picture the crowd around him silent. And he says this: "Who is the neighbor?" Verse 37 says this: "The expert in the law replied, 'The one who had mercy on him.' Jesus told him, 'Go and do likewise.'" See, Jesus makes it extremely clear what needs to be done. That we, as followers of Jesus, are to love him with everything we have, but that also we're to love people. That we are called to be the good Samaritans. That as we walk through life, we open our eyes to see needs in the world and we fill them. Not expecting a response, not expecting fanfare, but doing it because we want to show people the love of Jesus. Here's what I want you to do. Today, before you leave your house, I want you to pray that God opens your eyes to see the needs in our world and to fill them. This has been the Daily Dose. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.